and welcome to the 23rd installment of the Jonesin on a Whim podcast.
Woo!
23. 23, I always think of Michael Jordan.
Yeah, it's easy too.
When 23 is presented. But we'll roll into it. We usually start with mistakes, but we're talking NFL. There are no mistakes.
Other than our picks.
Right. Well, God. We'll get into that in a bit. So, second segment, rolling into that 51-second segment. I pledge to not explain why that is named that anymore, so that's it. I'm a man of my word. Injuries are what we do in the 51-second segment. Not as many this week, but some significant ones. Mm-hmm. Goes in alphabetical order, so we'll start by city. We'll start in Arizona. Kevin Kolb did leave the game with an apparent rib injury. X-rays were negative, but there's a follow-up MRI. I'm not sure. They'll need him. Skelton looked pathetic in his relief duty in their loss to Buffalo in overtime.
Didn't have time to throw, though.
But neither did Kolb, but he's...
Yeah, he was better.
He's made a positive outcome on a lot of his starts.
Yeah. And
in Baltimore, where everyone's injured, I think I sustained an injury from their game yesterday.
Passing through Baltimore.
Oh, man.
Ouch.
Start with the two that are out for the year, the Darius Webb, torn ACL, and maybe I'm not sure if it's more important, to be honest. Webb was their best corner, I believe, but Ray Lewis, torn triceps, done for the year. We'll see how they react to that. He'll still be on the sideline, rah-rahing it up for them, and be every bit the leader. He just won't be able to do that on the field. And then Haloti Nada sprained his knee. Apparently he tore an MCL, but he's supposed to play through that. He's a big fella.
And don't need no ACL or MCLs.
Right.
Yeah.
They'll need him in Houston. He just plugs holes, but he does it better than anybody. Maybe Will Fork. But and some good news for the Ravens. Terrell Suggs is cleared to return. Just no word if he's ready to, and I suspect he's not. But maybe at some point he will.
Yeah.
And then, sorry.
Go ahead. I'd be surprised if he plays.
Right, for a while.
Yeah.
And Trenton Richardson day-to-day dealing with a right rib cartilage injury. He should probably play Sunday. If not, Montario Hardesty looked good in relief. And finally, in Dallas, DeMarco Murray, X-rays negative. But they did have an MRI to check for ligament damage, and he will at least miss this Sunday's game against, I believe, the Carolina Panthers. And then Morris Claiborne, their rookie corner out of LSU, left with what appeared to be a knee injury, but he seems to be fine. And then Mike Jenkins, a pick from a couple of years back, he had an injury as well, but he may actually miss time. But
yeah, Claiborne's looked bad when it happened. I was like,
right, he limped off
or something, or
So far, so good. We'll see. You never know with these things. Mm-hmm. Apparently, now that I've learned following this, the progression is X-ray. Nothing there. That means no bone. But dig deeper with MRI, you go for ligament.
Yeah. So, also, X-rays are easy to take in a snap. And
right.
MRI, you
quick.
Gotta, actually,
go through the machine.
Have like 40 minutes.
Get claustrophobic.
Being still.
Right. So it's a more in-depth analysis. Okay. Well, that concludes. It's still not 51 seconds, but we're getting there. Yeah. It's like 4 minutes, but still not 3 minutes. But on the next segment, entertainment news, which is where we name our big performances of the week, and I'll let you go first on this.
Oh, thanks. I'm gonna go with RG3. I mean, we'll talk about where we're ranking the teams later, but he is everything to that team right now because they have no D. Running game is just it's okay.
Oh no, another rookie is carrying the load for them.
Morris is doing fine, you know, but he is carrying that team right now, and feels like sky's the limit for him.
Yeah, no, it certainly seems that way, and you're right. We'll get into the rankings and what we think about that team going forward. Mm-hmm. Going forward in this podcast.
Ah, yes.
I was hoping that Carson Palmer was going to be the guy I gave it to. He was he finished 23 of 33, 353, and a touchdown. But that one pick, that crippling pick six, was the difference in his team winning on the road against the only unbeaten team in Atlanta. So I can't name him. And I'm glad you mentioned RG3. and I'll mention the other 4. 5 of the 6 rookie quarterbacks yesterday not only won but looked good doing it. And shockingly, only Andrew Luck was the one to lose and looked bad doing it.
Yeah.
So, but I have to go. I have to go with Ahmed Bradshaw and the Giants' offensive line this week. Last week he had 200 yards. We kind of mentioned it.
Yeah.
Going in passing. Yeah. But this week against
200 yards.
Right. But this week 116 on 27 carries. That's 4.3 a carry against a 49ers defense that you just don't do that against. Yeah. It's and to go further with that, you know how many 100-yard rushers the 49ers have allowed in the past 43 games?
Maybe 2?
1.
Oh, and that was it?
And that was in the road, and, well, we'll get to that in the Stomp Stephon segment.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But included in that, there was a 36-game streak where they gave up no 100-yard rushers.
Wow.
So that's why that's so impressive, and that's why it's my big performance for this week.
Cool.
And if Art would show up on time, he would give his, but I'll let him get back to that, maybe in his fantasy segment, if he shows up by then. We'll roll into our next segment, which is our top 11, which is under this NFL format. It is our power rankings. And top of the list, finally, Fool's Gold, Atlanta.
Woo!
Previously number 2.
Hometown team.
Right. And, I'm not buying in. Y'all 2 had them 1. I still had them 2. They should have lost the past 3 weeks, but the simple fact is they didn't. And they are the lone undefeated team in the National Football League. But the schedule does get tougher after their bye this week. They have games at Philly, New Orleans, and then they'll host Dallas and Arizona. And I suspect there's a couple of losses in there.
Could be.
Maybe 4.
That would be quite a swing.
Right.
But hey, I'm not saying you're wrong.
Right. Who knows? But and climbing to number 2 on the list, the New York Giants, previously, but they've had. I mean, that's about as an impressive win as you can have prior to the 49ers' impressive win.
Yes.
The week before. So that's how big that was, and obviously we took notice. They jumped from 8th to here in our rankings, and I'm almost ready to sign off on them as a playoff team. But the Redskins are better than we all thought, I think, and beat the Giants twice last season, with Rex Grossman as their quarterback. So there's a slight upgrade this season. So we'll see how that plays out going forward. But they've opened some eyes. But this is what they do.
Yeah.
Even the year after they beat y'all in the first time in the Super Bowl. Sorry.
Yeah,
they went 12-4 and bowed out early in the playoffs. So
yeah. Yeah, I don't know about Washington's defense carrying them to a division title, but
right,
like I said, RG3's making up for a lot of poo over there.
He certainly is. And at 3 holding serve, Baltimore. Dallas probably should have won the game yesterday, but Flacco made the throws, Ray Rice made the runs, and this is now an offensive team. Can we now start talking about one of those guys as an MVP candidate?
Yeah,
and especially now with Ray Lewis gone for the
that
year.
They need it. Yeah,
right. I mean, this is an offensive team now. So, and those are the 2 leaders of that.
Mm-hmm.
So I hope they get. It doesn't really matter. They'll come into Houston next week, and we'll make our picks later. But
and I'm going to that game.
Awesome. I wanted to.
Yeah,
but
it's not cheap. But
that's what I figured.
Yeah. A friend of mine emailed me. He said, "Hey, you want to go to the Texans Ravens game?" I'm like, "Oh, cool."
$150.
He almost be back. He's like, "I got him off StubHub. It's more than 150."
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
But it's
a big game.
It's a preview of the AFC Championship for people who think that the Texans are good. So, but oops. And jumping up a few spots to number 4, by way of benefiting from teams ahead of them losing and them not playing. The Chicago Bears. From 6 to 4. I'm still not sure what to think of this team. And I think that on a neutral field or on the road, they could not beat the Packers, Giants, Niners, maybe even my Saints. So that's the NFC teams I need to get through. So
ways to go.
They posted some impressive routes, so that's why they're taking care of business when they needed to. So that's why I'll put them where they currently stand at 4. So
Art's here. Yay!
Yeah.
With his green juice.
With green juice.
falling from the top spot all the way to number 5. And I think y'all were kind. I think I dropped him all the way to 7 or 8.
I've been accused of hating on him, so I was trying to stop hating. I was trying to stop hating with my ranks.
I think I put him like number 5.
I put Atlanta 1. You know I was dying to hate
Yeah.
him.
Getting your ass kicked at home, even by Green Bay.
Right,
I think
in
that's merited.
the big spotlight moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know,
And from the beginning, looked completely unprepared for everything.
shocking their coaches, an Aggie. Sorry, we don't have any Aggies. So
Oh, we don't?
we don't have anyone. They were. I'll preface all this with, or proceeded with, they were who I thought they were, and I suspect my thoughts won't change following this Sunday. They're limited offensively, and when they're behind, their defense is limited as well. So I don't see it. I don't see what other people see. I see a 10-6 team at best, still maybe 9-7, and
I know it's Aaron Rodgers, but 6 touchdown passes.
Yeah.
to white dudes
To white dudes.
who had previously done
And
nothing
James
this
Jones.
year. Who had previously done nothing this year.
Right.
Finley had 12 yards receiving,
Uh,
and they still dominated this football game.
Well, you know the Texans are all pressure all the time. So
I
if
know,
they-
that's
if,
why.
If they don't get pressure, then that back
Well, it's
end
also-
becomes
Yeah,
something
right. It's what it
very
is.
human.
Yeah, and it's pressure on themselves. That we're 5-0. They read the top. They read the papers. They read. You're not the best team in football. You're not the 5th best team in football. I'm sorry.
It's just
I'll give him 5th best.
And 4 losses in a row.
Until further
We'll get them
notice.
there.
yeah, their plan is pretty simple, right? I mean, they show up.
Run the football, and when
You
we
run
can't
the
do that,
football.
we're down 14-0. What do we do? We're limited.
Yeah, then they can't. They just do got your bitch misdirections for chunk yards.
Which they didn't even do that last night
Well, even when they try
because
to
they don't
do it,
have
it
the
doesn't
guys to do it anymore.
But I say you fall behind 40-0, you keep running the football because that's
Right,
That's
but
your
Derek
strength.
Kubiak shits his pants,
And starts.
tossing it to a receiver who's a shell of himself,
Yeah.
and then everybody else is white. So,
Hey, there's some good wide receivers out there.
They're like 3.
Productive.
and
they're
two of them play
limited
for
though.
Denver.
They're limited in their role. They're slot receivers.
Oh yeah.
So, there's just-
No burners. Yeah.
No. Yeah, Decker's the best one going right now because
Yeah.
he plays outside. But even still, anyway, I need to suit up. But that was 10 years ago.
What just happened?
So also falling after
didn't know I missed that much.
after an embarrassing loss at home, and in keeping with the earlier theme, Alex Smith is who I thought he was as well as the Texans were, who I thought they were. Limited quarterback, even with a plethora of weapons, he can't get it done against an average defense, let alone an above average defense.
Not when there's actual pressure coming from the 7.
No, and they fall from 3 to 6, and I'm not sure.
I'm being nice to people, geez.
Yeah, well,
What did you have? I put him at 7, but I'm still trying to be nice 7.
right. No, I think I had him further down than that mainly because moving up to 7 from 11, Green Bay, and I had him higher than both. I think I had him as high as 5. Y'all both had him.
I had him deep down. 'Cause I
Green
needed
Bay?
to see it.
Yeah.
I forget where I put them, but
Yeah.
it was a lot higher than I had them before.
Right, and they fell from 11. And they jumped to 7 from 11.
I got him at 8 this year, this week, so I can live.
Then
You
with
got him
the-
at 7.
Oh, yeah.
Stephon.
With upcoming games against the Rams, Jaguars, Cardinals, and Lions, I only expect their ascent to continue.
Yes.
We'll just keep winning.
I wrote them off a little early, maybe.
And God, a tiebreaker over them would have been nice, but
I'm good at
I
that.
suspect they'll win a couple more games than we do when it's all said and done. And speaking of teams ascending, teams heading in the other direction, down from 5, the New England Patriots. Stephon, New England Patriots.
Yes, yes.
No shame in losing to Seattle on the road, but there is a little shame in doing it by allowing a rookie quarterback 2 touchdown drives of 83 and 57 yards in the final 8 minutes of the game.
With chunk yardage.
There's some shame there.
There is
We
some
love
shame
Russell
there.
Wilson, but that shouldn't happen even on the road.
Yeah, that was bad, especially the winning touchdown pass. I was like, there's limited time left. You
Right.
know that this is the only play that's working, so how about you cut it off? You know,
And
no.
Braylon Edwards sighting, which
Yeah, and I thought he had
Yeah.
blown out his something, and that was it.
and that explains, I think, a little bit of Russell Wilson's improvement this week from last week, which he improved. He's improved just about every week.
like I said, you play Carolina and then you get home and you play a clearly stubborn New England defense that's like, we know that your whole thing relies on chunk yardage, but you wouldn't do that to us, now, would you?
But they shut Lynch down.
They did.
Yeah.
I mean, they had nothing else going on other than those 40-yard passes.
Right. And Russell Wilson, which I like to see. I only saw the first half of that game, if that, but liked him running the ball a little bit earlier to show that New England defense that element is real. I'm back to doing that, and they had to account for that, and I think that's what opened up a little more in the passing game as well.
That's probable.
So, and speaking of those Seattle Seahawks jumping back into our top 11, they come in tied for 9th, and logically, and you did it. Him and I didn't. They should be ahead of the Patriots, given they beat them. But if you play 10, and if you play 10 times, if these two teams play 10 times, I would think New England would have played more.
Yeah.
So that's why that's where they are. That's where they came from prior to the week. But Russell Wilson continues to improve, and that defense is brutally good.
It is serious.
And
everything's in front of them. If you give them time to get to you, they're going to get to you, and you're going to have a problem.
Then your Irvin, I think you picked him for Rookie of the Year. I believe that they're the end, whoever the guy who's compiling sacks each week.
Oh shit! What is his name? Did I pick him?
Yeah, I think so.
Someone's name though. Yeah.
And that's looking like a strong pick, or maybe. You mentioned him at some point, and maybe it was just
I'll take credit for
NFC West analysis.
Yeah.
But he may have been your Rookie of the Year. Speaking of Rookie of the Year, I believe this is their first appearance in our top 11, tied with Seattle at number 9, the Washington Redskins. And
the Redskins.
The ability, Bob, he's almost earning Rob 3 on this. He's still Bob for now, but he gets to play. What's his name this week? Who said you just Bob until you're a pro, till you're successful. The end for Kai Wanuka probably.
Oh, for the Giants.
Yeah. Who said you're Bob, Griffin until. So they'll be offensively. They'll be in every game, and it's a big matchup for first place in the NFC.
Clash of strength against strength there too. Yeah.
And as I mentioned earlier, they beat them twice last year.
Side note. Fuck you, Arthur Prather. My first touchdown of the year. I'm shitty.
Well, you knew it was coming.
I fucking hate you, Arthur Prather.
He didn't even score against the Saints.
I don't love you.
Antonio Gates. That just got in the end zone.
I don't love you. I'm breaking tackles.
He'll come.
Must be the pink socks.
Well, you missed Philip Rivers' pregame prayer, but one guy writes it, so now he feels the need to do it.
Rivers confused.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, Bob, man, look, there's so many different...
2-0 against the Giants last year.
There's too many films, there's too many templates for quarterbacks that do this, so you would feel like teams with a decent amount of defensive talent will be like, you won't be getting any 57 or 50, 80-yard
world-class
touchdowns on me.
World-class
But
speed.
no. Drop back, nothing there. Up, you missed the blitz. Up, one dude falls on the ground. Juke, 76-yard game on.
World-class. He was a track star.
No,
he's wow.
Vic was fast. This guy's world-class fast, and he's efficient with the football. 18 to 22. He's only got 2 picks, I think, to this one yesterday, I believe. But he's every bit we thought he would be and more. And if he can just stay healthy. And like I said yesterday, he's a guy who can learn from the concussion mistakes, get out of bounds, get down. And when he got hit, he was out of bounds. So, for his prior concussion. I hate to say it.
He was cutting back, though.
Right. Well, but he was kind of diving out.
He could have dived out of bounds, but he cut back and tried to make a few more yards.
And I hate that Shanahan's tied to this, but it is what it is. I like a lot of guys on that team enough that their success, even beyond him, I can accept and embrace. So,
yeah, but he is that team. I mean, and I have reservations about him staying healthy enough to play a full 16. You know, with you see how many times he just called his own number on like his own read.
No. Check. They were like 13 called plays for him to run the football, which is insane. Yeah, you should not do that.
No,
but that turns in. Because when he has 138 yards, because when he gets his yards, he's improvisating. This is not the called plays when he's
improvising.
Right, but it's the same thing. I mean, improvisating is a vocal term for improvising.
Yeah.
So, is it not?
I didn't know that, but
How do we get here?
I mean, I could keep getting called out, but vocabulary, which is totally not a word.
grammar police.
But I mean, it's the call plays that fail. It's when he's improvisating or improvising, either way, that he peels off a 78-yard touchdown run, which is what he did yesterday. And we'll get more into his running again in your Stump Stefan segment. But in the team they beat, Art's Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah.
They round out the top 11 with the team playing right now, tied. So we actually have 12 teams in our top 11 this week. But they're both in the average, same average.
That team being St.
The
Diego,
Minnesota
right?
Vikings. Minnesota Vikings.
Well,
and then
they're
San
tied
Diego.
with
And then San Diego.
Yeah.
Yeah, y'all don't acknowledge Denver, so.
Not yet.
I put him 15th.
Right, and not 13th, and you didn't like them. But Christian Ponder continuing to improve. Of course, Percy Harvin, great in the offense, but an alarming stat for me that I had to look at because I don't know that he's had a 100-yard rushing game. Adrian Peterson, 19.2 carries a game in the first 6 games. Are they worried about his injury last year, or what's going on? That's their offense's second best player. Not the first anymore. Sorry, it wasn't ever for me, but probably for you either. But 19 carries a game.
But over a full season, that comes out to over 300 carries, which is a pretty heavy load, actually.
I know, but 6 more carries, something. I mean, maybe that 20th is the one he breaks. 19 is alarming for a franchise back you paid $9 million a season for, whatever they paid him. He got the highest paid running back contract we've seen.
But that doesn't mean you ride him for 25 a game, because that's 400 carries over the full season. Nobody gets 400 carries anymore.
And then, not to mention, they know.
Well, he doesn't get catches.
Well,
so that's his touches. 19's his touches.
He's starting to get catches this year. They've been running a lot of little wheel routes, little short things where normally you get so used to watching them play and you just know the ball's not going to him. And they're getting by on that. So they're getting cheap yards off of, you're not going to throw it to him, and then they throw it to him.
He is coming off a serious injury, too. So
I agree.
Yeah,
I'm saying that's probably why, because they know they ride him.
Put it to you like this. In this game, they were behind, true enough.
No, they were up. Washington came back in that game.
Well, wait, Washington won by 12?
Right. And they were down 14 or something.
Well, even more so. That even makes it more.
I agree. Alarming.
Peterson had 7 catches yesterday.
Okay. Well, no, I'm just saying.
Yesterday.
Carries, though. Why, when they're not up 12, they're not riding him? I mean, Toby Gerhardt. He's limited.
And they randomly use him to run straight for the.
Well, that's all Adrian Peterson does.
Like, we know you're going to get 3 yards.
But he runs straight hard.
Yeah, hard.
Harder than anyone.
So now they're just taking the 3 yards and letting Toby get like 5 to 8 of those a game. So it's interesting. I mean, 19 carries isn't enough to scare me, but it's enough to make me at least think, hey. But they're making up for it in the passing game. Adrian Peterson having a 7 reception game. That's a clear. We're going out our way to give you.
One Ponder had 350 yards. That might be a career high for him.
Minnesota's up 9-0 at the end of the first. Washington scored 17 in the second quarter.
Is that what it was? Did they go back ahead? Because I thought I kept reading Washington's comeback led by Griffin's.
They might have just been talking about the
9-0. That was more than that.
I don't think they were down by more than that, but.
That was a pick 6 waiting to happen.
But while you find that, it's just 19 carries. When he usually carries more, and if I'm paying somebody that much, and 7 catches, that's 26 touches. I'm for that. But and Minnesota's not. I don't think they're a real threat going forward anyway. But
maybe not. I think they hang around them, and they'll be the type of team that other people will keep on thinking, oh well, I'll win a couple games, get in the playoffs. And then Minnesota will be that team at the end of the year
where it's like, oh, yeah, I just go down there and beat Minnesota. And then you don't. And then you end up and they make the playoffs and you don't. And, yeah, they get killed in the first round by the Giants or Green Bay or whatever.
Oh, God. If they won the division, they could host us.
But,
oh, yeah.
There's a dome, too. Just give me in a dome. Get me in and get me in a dome.
Right.
Like I said, the other team rounding out the top 11 is actually the 12th team, but they were tied on an average of the three of us ranking them. San Diego Chargers. I suspect they'll win tonight. They're playing in San Diego. They're up 10-0 now, and they're a division leader. That means they'll be a division leader. So those should all be represented in our top 11, at least for now. Y'all both had them 3 to 4 spots ahead of Denver, but didn't have San Diego covering tonight. So that was odd, but you're calling me out on the Redskins never being down. So I'm gonna call you out on that.
Oh.
Yeah, please go ahead and call me out on that
The
because
Redskins were down 9-0.
Right, but I thought this is me reading.
but I fall for it. All this. Oh, Peyton Manning makes stuff happen when it ain't stuff to happen because he's Peyton Manning.
Well, and to be honest,
2-3, and we need this game.
And y'all know why I picked the Chargers.
And it's like, North Turner sucks.
We beat them, so I need them to win. And I said it when I picked them last week.
True.
And every week, Kansas City, I picked Kansas City because they beat us. I need something that these teams continue to lose. So
You need to quit picking.
I'm going against everything I think. I say that I'm not this week. If it happens again, I'm totally opposite the rest of the season. But it's week 6. This is criminal if I'm not good enough to be 8-8. I'm typically 10-6 or 10-4 every week. Ask Corey, who won money off my picks last year. By this time I've got the league figured out, but this is a crazy ass year. So
yeah, Washington was down 9-0, but they didn't trail after taking the lead.
Yeah, look, it's just like I said in the mail. The NFC West is all of them are 4-2. All of the AFC East is 3-3. Who called that?
St. Louis 3-3 actually in the West.
St. Louis is 3-3.
3-3. Yeah, but everybody else is 4-2.
No, I mean, but
still,
that's
it's a lot better than we thought they've been doing.
And I think there's also a stat where there's
the beauty of
2 teams over 500 right now in the AFC.
Right, above, yeah. And the beauty of that is the only team that is undefeated and has the best record for Saints fans is we play them twice. We can beat them twice. We can. I'm not saying we will. I'm saying we can.
That's not outrageous.
So that's of the teams we need to chase. I mean, obviously Green Bay will be in that mix, and teams. Our losses are to Kansas City, Green Bay. So Kansas City, the AFC, so that won't matter in tiebreakers.
Right.
And then Washington, which will become a tiebreaker, probably. And so those losses are not good. Carolina, which they're going to go away.
Yeah.
They'll continue to go away. I don't want to go away with them. We can beat them too later on, but we don't need to get into that. Let's go. Just missing the top 11. The New Orleans Saints I just mentioned. I believe Art ranked them 14th. You had them 11th.
Yep.
Saints I think is what you meant with the exclamation point. I have not ranked them yet. It's superstition, really. Arizona, I did not rank them. You had them 15th. You being Art, Stephon had them 10th. Denver, I had them 13th. Art didn't have them ranked, and you had them 15th. Mm-hmm. And that comes out. And then other teams that met Pittsburgh's right on the cusp, and because I ranked Pittsburgh 14th, I believe, and they're still alive to some degree.
What do you think about the Eagles? Right.
Cincinnati should be right there.
About to drop the Eagles.
I think this is it for Andy Reid, unfortunately, unless he gets that.
Well, they got the bye week, so he's the master of after the bye week. So
Are they on bye?
They're on bye this week.
So they'll win that game. I think it's Dallas. It's not an easy. I don't know if it's Dallas.
No, it's funnier than that. I think they come
might
back.
be Atlanta.
Atlanta is on a bye too, and they come back, and that's who they play in week 8.
Yeah.
In Philly.
So that's very winnable.
So Fugo in Philly
finally loses. No, I see him losing 3 of those 4 after this. That's assuming we could beat them, which we typically do. But so that rolls that out. We'll get into the bye weeks and everything. In the Whim hit section, our weekly picks against the spread, which if you're betting, go the opposite. Last week, Stephon and I were 3-10, and somehow Art still finds a way to be worse. 2-11 for the season. I don't even want to. We're bad.
We can't trust these people. Don't even show me that. Don't even tell me about this. We can't trust these people.
Michael Floyd. We're bad season wise. But I'm gonna go one more week on what I believe,
Actually
what I
believe,
think, right?
and then start going the other way.
Yes. And starting in San Francisco, Seattle visits very unrespectively. I guess this is given their road history of failure as Gates again.
You want the breakdown.
Seattle's 7.5-point dogs.
I'm open now.
In San Francisco.
Oh, I'm limping now. I'm open now.
In San Fran.
Plus 7.5, Seattle.
Oh, jeez. That's a big line, but
And they're a different team on the road. Seattle.
yeah, Seattle's. Yeah.
But that D is strong, and they'll get out to Alex Smith just like the Giants did. 7's big. I'm not saying Seattle will win. I'm saying if they lose, it would be less than 7.5. I'm taking Seahawks here. I'll ride that train.
I'll go with San Francisco for Harbaugh to correct some issues after the Giants game. That's got to wake them up.
Right. Something has to.
Yeah.
Clearly, I don't know. So
whatever you think.
the power. We'll do one more week of what I think. The power of Russell Wilson. It is predicated on 40-yard games, and you would want to believe that the 49ers are not going to show up and give that away. So I just gotta assume that they don't give away 6 40-yard plays, and so that equals San Francisco winning by some amount. But it's 7 is such a crazy line.
7.5. Well, it's 7.5. So yeah, it would be if the 49ers could win by a touchdown and they still cover. So
Yeah.
Power of Russell Wilson.
all right. And the second game, Dallas goes to Carolina, 2-point favorites.
Dallas goes to Carolina, 2-point favorites.
Like I said, maybe Cam Newton goes back to this brothel where he met Warren Moon during the summer before his rookie season, and Warren Moon showed him or told him something that made his world a better place. And
Don't beat your wife like me. Oh wait,
don't beat your wife. Playboy models are easy. I don't know what he told him.
The Cam Newton decline continues.
But Cam Newton went from, we saw those preseason games, damn it, and this man could not make a throw to save his life.
His first rookie
season,
season.
And then he showed up week 1 hitting people in the hands 40 yards down the field, and it was like, what the fuck, really?
400+ yards.
Like, is this happening right now? Maybe he visits Warren Moon on his bye week again. They go back to the same brothel and then he works it out. I don't think so. The sad news is, who in the hell could trust the Cowboys right now?
They should have been the best team in the AFC yesterday.
Yes, but look who they're counting on. They're counting on Dez, man, and that's scary.
Well, they're counting on Jason Garrett.
Yeah, and both of those are scary. I mean, Dez has had 2 of the best people who play fantasy football think these are good games that weren't really good games I've ever seen.
Well, he lost the game for him after he did everything to get him back in and dropped it. You catch that 2-point conversion.
You catch the shit out of that 2-point conversion.
Yeah.
Because he got up and tried to cry for a call, but he knew he was lying to himself. He just like,
That was the best hovering by a defensive back I've ever seen. He jumped exactly. That was like Matrix shit. Like He hovered right over him perfectly. Nah, there was no call there.
I'm taking the Cowboys because I want to believe the Panthers are done, and whatever happened, whatever Cam did to be good is over with, and he's shot. So Cowboys.
Yeah, I got him too. Sophomore slump continues at an alarming rate.
Yeah, I got the Cowboys too. I'm a little iffy because coming off the bye week is nice for Carolina, but I'll still go with the Cowboys. They showed me a lot yesterday. I mean, their offense did a lot more than I thought they could.
Yeah, no, they were impressive, and a loss, and that's a Monday night game. So we'll go to the hometown game. The Ravens come in. This might be the first time they've been dogs this year. 4.5-point dogs to the Texans.
Ooh.
This defense is kind of crippled.
But it hasn't been what they've relied on this season anyway.
Yeah, but they've been bending and not breaking. They've been giving up yards and not touchdowns. It's kind of like what New England would even do the last few years. Like they'd find a way to not give up the touchdown, but you get to the end of the game and questionable people would have 350 yards passing. You'd be like, really?
The bend but don't break defense.
Right.
Which I'd say they're going away from, by the way.
Yeah, how do they not?
Because they're giving up the long ball. Damn it.
Yeah, how do they end up not breaking with these type of injuries? Because is a week long enough to get over Ray Lewis out for the season?
I think he's missed games in the past.
Yeah. 4.5. That feels like a lot. I'm going with Baltimore.
As am I. The Texans just aren't in this class yet. They're not.
It's a daytime game though. It's
Noon.
at Ag at 15. I mean, I don't know who to trust in this. You know, I'm biased towards Baltimore, and I doubt the ability of the Texans coaching staff to make adjustments because I don't think they know what they are.
But I think even if Suggs suits up, I don't have to play. But maybe even if he just suits up, that's an emotional jump. And then we've talked about the way the Ravens build their team. There's so much depth. They've got to have a guy to come in for Ray that's younger. He's not going to be a leader, but he's probably faster. He's not as smart, but I don't think the Ray Lewis issue is as big. He's not dead. He can still lead this defense, even if it is on the sideline. I'm not bailing on my Super Bowl pick either. I still have him.
Yeah, me either.
Like I said, color me scared. You saw where I ranked him. I mean, I had him third still, but I'm scared.
It's time. And him. I mean, it sucks Ray Lewis has to limp off into the sunset, but off into the sunset he will go.
Give me Ravens. I don't know.
Well, you're getting 4.5. I mean,
yeah, I know.
And it's the Texans. This is going to be talked about all week, and they're going to crumble because of that reason. And that's what they do. Anyway, Arizona goes to the Metrodome. I guess that's what they still call it. Plus 5.5. Arizona underdogs. 5.5 to the Vikings. To your Vikings.
Wow.
How's Cobb doing?
Real.
Is he?
He's fine. He'll be fine. It's a rib thing, but no, not from what I can tell. It's nothing major. And does Arizona win or lose any game by 3? More than 3?
Right.
No.
That's kind of what I'm thinking.
Right. So I've got Zona. I mean, I'm going Arizona.
Yeah.
I'll go Zona, but I don't know what I'm doing. Give me Zona, but I don't believe in him. I mean Kevin Smith, jeez.
He was a healthy inactive. That's
a healthy scratch.
in Detroit. Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. Third get one of those any.
Yeah, that story's over.
Green Bay goes to St. Louis. Minus 5.5. 5.5 point favorites. Win streak continues. I'm sorry. I got Green Bay. No shock there.
Yeah. I'll go with St. Louis. Keep it close.
Because it did so well against Miami.
Against Miami, yeah. But Miami beats teams that were like,
But
what?
wasn't it
How
in
the hell did that happen?
It was in
Miami.
Okay. They won at home. They never do that.
Yeah.
This is a different team.
That may have been one of the games I got it right. One of the two. I'll go Rams. I'm gonna keep hating.
Yeah, no, I think they hit their stride, and Alex Green just keeps getting more comfortable in the run game, and they'll get a little more going on the ground. And please, if the day I bet on Sam Bradford, shoot me in the head.
So noted.
The big NFC East matchup, the Redskins in the new New York Giants Stadium. Plus 6.5 for the Redskins. That's, after the Giants coming off their big win in San Francisco.
Yeah.
That's a bit fair. Washington 2-0 last year against these same Giants that won the Super Bowl. I think they keep it close. Maybe win. I'm taking Bob and crew. And God, if they had those two guys on defense, they'd be a 5-1 team right now. They should be. If he stays healthy, they beat Atlanta. And this is a better football team than we realized, and like we said, a lot of it is him. Mm-hmm. And
when the Giants are at home, they tend to fuck around, and
they do. Especially after a big win, they kind of they get happy,
up and down.
No, I agree. That's great logic.
6.5, he said.
Yeah, and a division rival.
I'll go with Washington.
Yeah.
I really don't know. I go Giants.
No reasoning, just
I go Giants. They look too good. They look.
But
like
they do this.
They do this, and I know that's why I
This
don't.
is a team that
trust
should have
them.
lost to Tampa Bay and another team that was left. This is what they do.
Yeah.
I know.
But
And it's like-
maybe they take Washington seriously, and that's why they.
That's like they need a reason to care. Like
Right.
They need a specific reason outside of hey, we need to win these games, make the playoffs.
Right.
Because
Which
that
is
ain't
sad,
enough. That's
but-
not enough for them.
Right.
So, but let's just say maybe they're on a roll now, and they take care of this.
Yeah.
12-4 following their last Super Bowl win. I think it's what it was as far as they didn't win the Super Bowl again.
Well, they were
Right.
12-1 before. 11-1 before Plaxico shot himself.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a big weapon lost, literally and figuratively. He's talking to the Bears now, actually, because I guess Alshon Jeffrey's injury might be bigger than anticipated, but I haven't heard anything since
I'm
then.
big. I'm slow. I can't get open. I'm perfect for y'all.
That means if he misses a month, he's gonna add 30 pounds. He's already a chunky fella when he's not active. Speaking of not active, Matt Hasselbeck leads his Tennessee Titans into Buffalo.
Quote unquote.
The Music City Miracle rematch, which has probably happened up
A number of times,
since.
yeah.
Plus, the Buffalo Bills are favored by 3 over the
Oh.
Titans.
And they,
Off a big win in Arizona. I guess it was
Arizona.
in Arizona, I guess.
And they will cover.
The Bills or the Titans?
The Bills.
Bills.
Because Tennessee still has no defense. I know they played better against Pittsburgh this week, and so they got like a 10-day layoff instead of a week, but
Right.
still not buying them keeping it close.
I love Matt Hasselbeck, so I'm going with the Titans.
I'll go Bills. They're not gonna beat Tennessee. 'Cause I was wrong, but come on.
Neither will Tennessee, and I was wrong. But
Yeah.
speaking of being wrong, the New England Patriots are 3-3. I said they wouldn't lose to December. I didn't mean it as a reverse jinx.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
I really didn't. The Jets traveled to New England, Gillette Stadium, whatever the hell it's called, with that crazy logo on the field.
That's right.
10.5-point dogs.
Oh, man. The Jets, fresh off their bludgeoning of the Colts.
But this is what they do. They beat bad teams.
Yeah.
They play good teams and, well, yeah.
And the Pats really
They
hate
play
the Jets.
decent teams and win and lose by 7 at home.
Yeah.
The Texans. They play bad teams and lose.
I'm not trying to reverse jinx here, but this is a rivalry game. I don't trust the Jets very far, but
They got to make it to 9 and 7 somehow.
I'll pick them to lose by a touchdown. So they'll cover.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Yeah,
But they could show up and get beat 48
yeah,
to 6.
and I'd rather bet on that. I'll take the Patriots here, especially after a loss on the road and that cornerback taunted Brady. It's going to be 28-0
in person and on
right,
Twitter.
Right, it's going to be 28-0 after the first quarter. There's no Revis. This is where that hits them hardest, and this is one of those typical blowouts.
Yeah, the Pats should be pissed.
Right, and they are. Cleveland goes to Indy. Battle of another rookie quarterback battle. Indy favored by 3 at home. Chuck Strong is gonna? If we're gonna find that again?
We might have been Chuck wrong. I don't know.
Right.
This is. I'm sorry, Chuck. But look, I'm going with the Colts though, because Cleveland's bad. I know damn well they're bad. Cincinnati just might be way more horrible than we think.
I don't think they are.
I know damn well Cleveland isn't good. You're not tricking me with that bullshit.
Their defense is. They have. That's the thing. Cleveland does have weapons. I don't know. Pat Sherman. I don't know. I wasn't available. I mean, who?
You should pick up your phone when people call.
I mean, but
Yeah,
That's his caller from Napa.
right, exactly. Jeez, the 49ers are calling me to fix whatever they did wrong yesterday.
Right, yeah.
But now Whedon's playing better than Luck right now, and that was an impressive win yesterday over what I still think is a playoff team in Cincinnati. Especially, I'm getting 3 points. I'll take Cleveland, and now
I'll take Indy.
Chuck Strong.
Yep. And
Man,
go-
I'm
and going with
either
like,
gonna do great, or y'all are gonna
Right,
do
yeah,
great.
we're having all the same picks right now.
right.
Yeah, but I'm going with the regression of the mean here. Where Indy stunk this week, and What's the other
And-
team?
and Cleveland
And
beat
Cleveland
Cincinnati.
actually beat Cincinnati.
Right,
so
and that's
saying
fair.
they're gonna bounce back
That
toward
is a
relegation.
good approach. Speaking of regression, completely, Jacksonville goes to Oakland.
What's that?
And does what?
Jacksonville +4. So Oakland 4-point favorites for the first time in quite some time.
10 years.
Right.
Jacksonville coming off a bye. They got good, strong leadership, and they got
Right.
great talent on offense.
Much leadership as the Texans have.
And they're ready to go. And Blaine Gabbert's been working on some stuff that he hadn't worked on before. And all these receivers, it's on. No?
No, I'm not buying it either.
I'll buy it. I'll take him to make it close. Jacksonville.
Well, Oakland intercepted Matt Ryan 3 times in the first 5 minutes. They should
5
probably.
minutes?
It was 2 in the first 5. I'm not crowning Matt Ryan like everybody else is, but he's better than Blaine Gabbert. So if they had that inspired performance,
A lot of people are better playing Garrett.
right? Maybe the 3.
Maybe all of them.
Maybe all
Except Tebow.
present. All persons present. So if Oakland could play that way, they should beat Jacksonville by 20. So, and that's maybe me saying more about Atlanta than I have in the past, but especially at home.
I see Oakland doing a lot of playing to the level of their opposition.
Oh, that's exactly what they are. We still don't know their coach's name.
And their opposition sucks this week, so I think they're going to play better.
We still don't know their head coach's name.
Right.
So I don't think we didn't even bother to Google it. Like that's how much we care. He'll be gone. Why learn this?
We don't know.
It's something I don't need to learn. So you have Oakland as well.
I'm going to Oakland.
I mean, it's not even something we want to learn.
Hey, Art and I pick something different. I guess
And Sunday night football, I believe, is Pittsburgh heads to Cincinnati. Pittsburgh's -2.5.
Well, I don't think that's enough. Cincinnati's winning that game. I don't think Cincinnati's good, but that says more about what I think about the Steelers. They lack health in places where you can't be lacking health at. And
What, Pittsburgh's favorite or Cincy's favorite?
Pittsburgh's favorite.
Yeah.
2.5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Cincinnati's winning that game. And they're winning this game. So
Right, I agree. It makes up for the loss in Cleveland. This is what this team does. They're a team that wins games they shouldn't and lose 1 or 2, but this is the trade-off. This is the one. I've got Cincy as well.
Pittsburgh at Cincy. No, I'll go with Pittsburgh.
They just lost to Tennessee.
I know.
On the road at night. Okay.
Mr.
And-
Soto Voke.
And Monday night is Detroit +5 at Chicago. That resilient performance, on Sunday. They came back. They won. I said I wouldn't take them until they proved me otherwise, but they did. Philly's got something, and they beat them in Link at the Link. I'm taking the Lions. I don't know what the hell I get with the Bears. I'm not sold yet. At home though, it's easier to buy, but.
Ew, now this is a primetime game.
It's Monday night. Chicago should win this.
That's not good for Cutler.
No, they killed Dallas already this year on Monday night.
Oh, that's true.
they get gifts.
Yeah,
'Cause that game was close even
It
with
was.
the gifts.
And
And then
then-
they just got like a big care package and that allowed them to put that
and
game
Detroit,
out.
I think, in the recent past, especially since Megatron's been there, played them close no matter what. Beat them one year, they got raped because they called the touchdown rule. Yeah,
It wasn't a touchdown.
So I
they
think
said it wasn't a touchdown. It was.
I think Detroit wins this and brings everybody back to the pack in this division. So give me 5. I'm certainly going to take it.
Because the Bears were on bye and everybody was getting healthier and Cutler was looking at film.
Cutler drank more than me that week.
He wasn't looking at film and stuff and figuring out ways to get the ball to Devin Hester and Michael Bush and Forte sitting around talking about, man, you take these plays, I take these
That's how
plays.
bad Devin Hester is. You have to figure out ways to get the ball to him. Jesus.
And Lovie
What
Smith
the
was working on new magical schemes and ways to stop Megatron. No, that wasn't happening.
Probably not.
They were chilling.
Probably so. Well, I think Lovey did a. I don't know. Not a fan.
Yeah, I don't have a lot of faith in Lovey, but I think they're a little more professional than that.
They are. Well, half of them are.
This is
Urlacher is.
This is
possibly
a battle of
maybe.
This is a battle of how could you trust either one of these teams.
I agree.
Yo.
That's why you give me 5. I'll take that. That'll come more to the meat. You know.
See, I trust Detroit less, so I'll go with Chicago.
Well, they're at home.
They get gifts every week, man.
They do, and Stafford's been giving them.
Yeah.
But something tells me this is Detroit getting
is
back in it. I still have them in the NFC Championship.
This is the let's get it right game for them.
So, right. It has to be. They played a Monday night last year, I believe, and it was a good game. Detroit might have won. It was in Detroit. I think Detroit, because Detroit started like 6-0 or something last year.
They had a hot start,
Yeah. And that included a win over the Bears on Monday night.
Before they lost the handshake game.
Right.
and then imploded.
Fuck you, Arthur Brady.
No, they still went 10-6,
They
but
did.
just drew the wrong team. Drew, pun intended, and we.
Here you go.
So
I don't know.
So you taking Detroit?
I don't know who to trust with this. I'm going Bears.
all right, I'll stick with Detroit. Just I have them in the NFC Championship. So for now, I don't believe that now, but I do still think they have a chance to make the playoffs. And finally, because I'm greedy and it's me, we'll finish with the Saints. The Saints go to Tampa, favored by 3.
Well, they should be.
You think?
Tampa's pretty bad.
They should.
Well, they just won by 30.
Yeah,
It's Kansas City.
I stand by it.
Do we know what we are? I mean, who's not?
No.
They both could be pretty
What's
bad.
the line again?
Minus, it's favored by a field
Favored
goal.
by 3. In Tampa.
Yeah, well, maybe what the Saints did during bye week. 'Cause we're talking about
Well,
teams, what they do during the bye week.
The best corner's out because he took piss.
Oh, Akeem Talib.
Yeah. This Adderall thing, it's out of control.
Look, it's on the list.
It's a diuretic. It
Yeah.
makes you piss more. I think this is bullshit. There's no enhancement there that I'm aware of, and if there is,
Well, except to cleanse your system of whatever you've taken.
now it makes
The
sense.
illegal stuff that you've taken.
Never mind.
All right.
Take those couple minutes out. Okay. Well, no, he's a weed head, so yeah, that makes total sense. Big Malcolm Floyd. Oh, it's Gates. Catching 60-yard bombs.
Oh,
Oh, that guy's intercepted. All right. That's what you do. You rip it out of there. It's Leonard from
from the Jets.
Yeah, he's the man. We've talked about him
The Jets, which they
a
said.
lot. So, yeah, Saints go to Tampa -3.
Saints.
We'll probably win it by 3. I don't give a fuck if we win it by a .2.
I'm going with the Saints.
Just win the goddamn game. It's a sweep. I want the desperation that Green Bay had on Sunday night.
Exactly.
Let's go out there and beat
They
their
should be
ass.
desperate every
right,
game now.
Right.
4 losses. I mean,
Yes. Yes. No, I agree. I want that.
All making
desperation.
one-hand catches. Fuck you, Arthur.
So no, he dropped it. So that concludes our Whim hits. Which, if you've listened at all and seen and heard our records, don't just bypass that segment.
Just go the other way.
Right, just bypass that segment. Or win a lot of money. Or do opposite. So we come to the Stump Stefan segment, which in this NFL format is NFL trivia, obviously.
But of course.
So Aaron Rodgers last night, I just had to 6 touchdown passes
Yeah.
against the Texans, I believe. I was dozing off during the end of the game. But tied a franchise record. Who also holds that record with him?
Well, you know who everyone's thinking right now.
Right.
But it's probably not him.
Could be.
I'm trying to think of any other good quarterbacks they've had. Man. 6 touchdown passes by a Packer.
It's not Bart Starr.
No.
I know this one. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
I've talked about it.
Is it Matt Flynn?
It is. I've talked about this game more than once.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm not so sure.
The epic free agent
I've
contract.
learned Aaron Rodgers is the real, but
He is.
yeah, well, his mobility, especially now, given their shitty offensive line, is why he's more so than that. But that's why he's wonderful for their football team right now.
Yeah.
Back
They
to
need the points.
right, and they need his mobility to get out of because their line is. But and staying with quarterbacks, Bob Griffin. If they beat the Giants, next week will be Robert Griffin.
Yes.
He ran for 138 yards against the Vikings yesterday.
But of course.
That was good for only 5th as a best performance by a quarterback running the football
Oh, shit.
in NFL history.
138.
Who holds the record? Year in yards, not necessary, but who
Okay.
holds the record? And ironically, and I remember this game because a friend of mine won a bet on this game. It was in overtime, and same team. It was against the Vikings.
Oh, really? Oh, against the Vikings. So
It was against the Vikings.
It wasn't by the Redskins, though.
No,
Okay. Against the Vikings.
in overtime.
Would it have been Michael Vick?
It was.
Yeah.
He won the game on that late play.
The cut and yeah.
Right, 2002. He just it was like a 70-yard run or something.
I remember thinking at that time, I
Yeah.
was like, no one can catch this guy.
No.
It is impossible once
Right.
he gets moving.
Yes, and he also holds a second.
He's number 2 also?
Yeah, against us. 06. I don't know. I feel like we won that game because that was post that was post Katrina year when we went 10-6.
Yeah.
And we beat them in Atlanta for sure. We certainly beat them at home. That was the big. I need to look into that because Schaub started the second game that year that we played them. So I need to look into that. But it was the first one when we did win at home, and he just ran around, but it didn't matter. And then he's also 10th and 4th on the list.
Wow.
Like I said, Griffin was. Hey, Randall Cunningham's not on here at all. Which
Yeah. I was wondering.
I thought
he was floating around my head.
Steve Young. Steve Young just ran when he needed to, not at will.
Steve Bono didn't get on the list with that 75-yard touchdown run, did he?
No. It's Tobin Rote
Tobin Rote?
from Packers in 51.
Ugh.
George Taliaferro. Sorry if y'all are listening. If you're not, just probably dead. Billy Kilmer. That makes a little bit of sense.
Yeah.
And then Tobin Rote again.
Huh.
Same year as he did his third. Playing against both those guys.
I'm playing against the two, but
game of a lifetime.
he tackled himself. That probably would have
he's
been me
white.
if he scored.
That counts as
Last
2
question.
games in one.
I mentioned there was a 36-game streak of the 49ers not allowing a 100-yard rusher from 2009, week 11, 2009, till 2011.
Wow.
Who was the last to break it, which would be who started the streak, and who was the first to do it.
At the
Who
end of
ended
the streak? Okay, so you want somebody from 09
Somebody
getting
from
100
11.
yards against the Niners and somebody
Someone
from
did it last
2011.
year.
Okay. 09. How about...
And the Giants drafted this guy, which is a big hit, and might trigger him knowing it.
just drafted this guy.
Didn't do it as a Giant. But the Giants drafted him.
Yeah, that's kind of what I figured you were going. I don't know it. Do you know it, Art?
Giants drafted him in 09, but he never made the team. He went somewhere else.
Oh, okay, I know now.
Okay.
Well, no, 09. That doesn't seem right.
That was when they lost to the Giants and then it's a championship. Giants drafted him. He's now with the Redskins.
Oh, well, yeah, I do know it then.
Yeah,
that
it's
was
the same.
my guess.
Right,
But I thought he got
That's
drafted before that. I thought he'd been in the league longer.
No,
God,
no,
man.
drafted by him. Not that year, but he was drafted. But he did it with the Packers.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
What were you talking about?
Ryan Gray.
Ryan Gray.
Oh, thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah. And then who did it last year?
Who did it last year? Oh, jeez, old man.
Oh,
man.
Quentin
Quentin Jammer
Jammer.
from the University of Texas.
That's-
in Austin.
Oh, I'm mad at you.
He's never scored a touchdown in his career.
Has he? Not? I mean, that makes sense. He started. He didn't want to. He was like,
I gotta make sure Antonio Gates gets another touchdown. Fuck you on the prison.
well, it looks like I'm going 4-10 this week. Woo! Yeah, Lord.
No.
I'll win this week with 4. Awesome.
I'll take my 3 and 11.
Yeah.
Let's see. So last year,
I say that, but
somebody gained.
Peyton doesn't start
against,
playing until the third quarter.
The Niners.
It's who you think it is.
Oh, it is Adrian Peterson.
No.
Oh. LaShawn McCoy.
No. Who sucks this year, by the way.
He does?
Does it?
Well, the 3 losses, he's got like 30 yards. And he doesn't suck, but he's... Okay, the guy gets 2 chances a season to do it.
I don't understand.
He plays them twice.
Oh, okay. Steven Jackson?
No. The best running back in that division.
Marshawn Lynch?
There you go.
Okay.
Took us a while to get there. But we did.
Yeah, it did.
And finally, on to this is the final segment. No tribute this week, even though Alex Karras passed away. And I love the Webster shows. I watched it every afternoon after school when I was a kid. And so maybe one day get in the Hall of Fame. That'll be awesome to see. But state of the art fantasy segment. Got I sent you 5 questions. I have one more. An amendment to the first question. Heartline, 0 catches. More importantly, 0 targets.
Woo.
Bye week fill-in, or are we done with this guy?
Man.
Or someone like Josh Gordon. Someone we should... The Cleveland rookie who's now 89 and 90-something touchdowns. 2 weeks in a row. Whedon's comfortable.
It's something to think about, but he's another one of these guys, though, that if he doesn't get that 87-yard touchdown, and you started him with a straight face, you started him with a straight face over somebody more stable, and now you want people to feel sorry for you Tuesday when he shows up and hits you with that one catch for 9 yards.
Reason number 278 why I don't play fantasy.
Man, he was so awesome, and he was playing against, and then insert bad team, but he only had one catch for 9 yards. Oh man. I would have won if I would have started James
But
Jones.
I can't even predict winners anymore. Actually, we might just... If we continue to suck, we're just going to pick winners of these games. Fuck the spread.
Gonna take the lame-ass ESPN.
We're going to dumb it down for our first year in doing this. Just pick winners. That's what they do on television. We're putting Vegas into when, encouraging gambling. No, we shouldn't do that. Just pick winners. But sorry.
Yeah, but now, Heartline is a guy... Of course, you hold on to him because... Maybe that was just his holy shit, I'm not going to be good this week game. You can't drop him because who are you going to pick up?
And it's not like Tannehill's throwing for 300 yards a game either. So
yeah, he got like 280 this week, didn't he?
178.
Oh, really? That's all? All right.
And that's just typical.
Right. That's apparently all they need him to
do. But he's 22 or 26. Like he runs a no huddle like nobody's business. Reggie can't run anymore because he's clearly hurt. But they couldn't bench him because the other kid, Daniel Thomas, is a concussion. So, yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, Heartline is one of those guys you hold on to. He's a bye-week matchup only guy, and you don't start him as a straight face, number 1 or number 2. You flex him out depending on your matchups, depending on who you got on bye, depending on whether Pierre Garçon is ever going to play football again, like stuff like that.
He tried to, and then he went back to it.
Now they're like, oh, he's really hurt.
We knocked him the fuck out in week 1. So
yeah, they're like, we're gonna make absolute sure that I'm hurt forever now. So I don't know when we'll ever see Garçon again.
Yeah, no, and that's fine. Fred Davis continues to.
By the way, that was the first touchdown of Quentin Jammer's career.
What do you know?
I believe it. Was this his first interception?
No.
How dare you? He's played
I'd also believe that.
He's played Peyton before.
Right, exactly. And then Phillip Rivers is 4-1 against Peyton Manning.
Oops.
So, for all those folks that dropped Russell Wilson following his slow start, including the 2 of us, by the way.
The power.
He's improved. Now he's averaging 260 a game passing and 4 touchdowns over the last 2 games.
Yeah.
Should we pick it back up?
No. Christian Ponder is still sitting there like, I can't believe people aren't picking me up. And people need to go ahead and pick up Christian Ponder. I mean, Russell Wilson is something to watch for, but you can't pick him up and start him with a straight face. I mean, maybe you can pick him up and drop him into the middle of a trade with some other stuff to try to get you some sort of buy low quarterback that you think the world of, that people don't think enough of. Like maybe you're hanging out thinking Stafford's going to have a better time. I mean, maybe that's what you get him for. Maybe you get Russell Wilson to have as a backup once you trade your other guy and something else to get Stafford.
Right.
But I don't think you pick him up and have him in your conversation every week to start him, because he's not above 152-yard, 1 touchdown, 20-yard rushing games. Chewbacca knows.
Chewbacca's like, man, you tell it like it is, Art.
Right. I just don't think you can do it. He got some tougher matchups coming later on. even though he does have some nice spots on his schedule too. But there's going to be more reliable things going on than Russell Wilson showing up throwing for 350 and 3 touchdowns. You can't be counting on that. One of your other questions coming up, that's the guy that people aren't dealing with like they should be.
Right.
So I think that's a segue.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully.
Yeah, well, with Andy Dalton, so
Yes.
with 290, they're 7th or the 8th in passing yards per game, and 12 touchdowns, 6 games. That's 2 per game.
Yeah.
Folks should need to be starting this guy over other guys, especially in bye weeks.
Yeah, and starting over guys.
Starting him regularly.
People like starting people just to see the names there. Like, who did I name? Cutler, Romo, Rivers, Schaub. I think all those people, you should be looking at the matchups with a straight face and saying, I'm starting Dalton over all those people most weeks. Because it's to that point now. I mean, Dalton's had some nice stat lines, and it's not just a 1-week thing. And yeah, just like we talked about A.J. Green being a monster, he's still a monster. And he's still healthy, knock on wood. So, hopefully I didn't just kill
He
him.
only catches it in the end zone. So.
And then, not to mention, they kind of sort of struggling with the running the ball situation now, too. So, they're going in the fuck it, let's throw it mode a little bit more often than I thought they would. So that's even more reason to think that Dalton is going to be having some yards. I mean, he's not going to have 381 and 3 touchdowns every week like he just had against Cleveland. But, I mean, his one game, I mean, he struggled in Baltimore in week 1. He didn't do great against Miami. That was a lower scoring game. But they have some places on their schedule where there's people you could throw on. I mean, there's that schedule passes the smell test for this guy's going to be throwing for a bunch of yards the rest of the season.
Right.
So Andy Dalton,
like you said, no
he's
negatives.
he's still getting picked up. I mean,
Yeah, he's still available.
I drafted him, dropped him, and picked him back up.
I was fortunate enough this week in my fantasy to see him out there, and I needed a quarterback because Breeze is on bye. And yeah, I still lost my game, but now I have a good backup quarterback.
That 380 and 3 touchdowns probably did you right. And if you got no negative points, it's my goodness.
No negative.
Yeah, if you got no negative points, I mean, that's somebody you got on your team. You're still over there with Isaac Redman. I know you are. And you need to go ahead and just quit playing.
Well, we saw Mendenhall sustained an injury.
Yeah, but
he's fine.
They're claiming it's not that
But he gets
bad.
hurt again? Seriously?
Or when you're coming back that quick, I mean, maybe they haven't figured it all out yet. But come on, guys. Isaac Redman, you're not starting that guy. Drop him, pick up not Ponder, or Ponder, or pick up Dalton and have fun.
Right.
And if you can unload another quarterback that has a sexier name and get something for him, do it and start Dalton the rest of the way.
Yeah. No, that's fair. Sean Green.
No.
An anomaly.
Stop. No.
Not a fan, eh?
If you got him on your team, maybe he's in that flex conversation now, but come on, guys. 160 and 3 touchdowns. Sean Green. That don't even sound real.
I thought it was somebody else, Green.
He was scoring touchdowns, and we were thinking that can't be a different touchdown. Yeah, that's a different touchdown. Wow. Like he scored again.
No, it was depressing. And you mentioned the schedule earlier today. And Miami 5th against a run, Seattle 2nd against a run, St. Louis 13th against a run, New England 6th against a run,
and then Arizona.
Right.
So, I mean,
they're actually not as proficient against the run as we think, but their defense is strong. And so on to that, to double up on it, Felix Jones.
No!
Same,
Stop!
same
No!
right.
What if we talked about this before the season started? Okay, I've been wrong about a million things. But don't kick the football on Felix Jones. Don't Jared Jones yourself.
Yeah, don't be an Arkansas alum.
Don't look at that one game and say, man, that boy Felix Jones, man, I don't even know. This man is the creator of below the waist injuries. He finds new ways to get hurt.
Nuts.
Yeah, he finds new ways to hurt ankles and shins and toes and pick him up, fine. Okay? But don't pick him up and think you're gonna be starting him as your second running back and you're looking at him or Fred Jackson, and man, fucking Fred Jackson sold me out.
He fumbled in the first carry.
I'm starting Felix Jones. Fuck this. Shut up. Start Fred Jackson. Pick up Felix Jones. Wait and see. Don't get committed.
So
Don't do it.
And then one last.
You're gonna ignore me and do it. I'm telling you, don't do it.
I hear you going to the computer right now.
Came in
Pick up Felix Jones.
Right. Came in.
Pick him up, but don't start him as your second running back over Fred Jackson every week. Don't do it.
Came in on a text from Kevin. Biggest fantasy bust this year, other than Chris Johnson, which is obvious.
Viewer texting. On the spot questions.
Which is obvious. Chris Johnson's obvious.
Yeah.
Cam Newton comes to mind.
Cam Newton comes to mind.
Matt Stafford comes to mind.
Matt Stafford in no negative point leagues just hadn't been win you a game by itself good. He's been lacking the touchdowns.
Considering
What's McCoy doing? People picked him like first overall in some of these
should pick
leagues.
Ray Rice. God, shit.
I mean,
I didn't think McCoy was doing that badly, but
He wasn't doing that bad. He just hadn't caught a million passes like everybody thought. Last year was a year where it was like, we thought he was going to catch passes, but he wasn't going to get rushing yards. But last year he got rushing yards and a million touchdowns.
but I mean,
And you knew he was going to come
I would
down.
think Newton and Stafford were definitely first and second round picks.
Newton was
Jones Drew came back and was fine.
Yeah, he's
No
been
bust
fine
there.
so far. It's about, I mean, the fear with McFadden was, I'm going to get this guy, and right when I start feeling good about it, he's going to have a couple random 60-yard touchdowns, and I'm going to be pointing at people talking shit, and then he's going to fall, and he's going to fall on the ground randomly. He's going to look fine, and then he's going to miss 9 games. Well, he hadn't gotten hurt yet, and after that first week where he had 13 catches, he hadn't been catching a lot of passes.
Right.
He had his one ridiculous 60-yard touchdown, and he got a punch in yesterday.
Right.
But he's averaging in the threes on yards per carry. They still haven't figured out. I guess Tom Cable leaves, and then 2 years later, you can't run the ball anymore. I guess that's what's looking like happening with Oakland. So he was a risky pick anyway, so it's kind of hard to call him a bust.
yeah.
There's people who took Steven Jackson based on the name in the
But
second
not-
round. Later in the second
They got what
round.
they
Well,
deserve.
but he's fine. I mean,
Yeah.
that's not a.
Yeah.
That's just bad drafting.
But you know his name would come up late in the second round, early in the third round, and then people would say stuff like, "Man, I took Ray Rice in the first round. Then the second round, I took Jimmy Graham, and then when it came back to me, guess what? Steven Jackson was still there, and I took him."
Trent Richardson, maybe people picked him maybe a little too early.
He was going right
sixth.
around that same time. Right?
In my PPR, I mean, right now,
when was he-
Richardson's the number 6 running back in total
Okay.
fantasy points. McCoy's 5th, which is not as good as he was doing last year.
Well,
It's not terrible.
But he was a top. He was his average pick was probably a top 3.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So
He
I'm
hasn't
not
been
saying
that kind of
bust,
value.
but
I mean,
Right.
I picked 5th in the league, and I got Ray Rice, and people were snickering at me when I got him. And I was having the time of my life, and I never felt that way before. Like, I was like, thank you. I'd like to thank all 4 of you people who did not take Ray Rice. I'm taking him, and it's going to be great.
right. I don't think Peterson was picked high enough to
I don't-
consider him a bust either.
He's still alive. He just hadn't had the touchdowns. But when Adrian Peterson just caught 7 passes, if it's PPR and you
Right.
got Adrian Peterson, he's probably your second running back. Shut
It's
up.
got to be a career high
I mean,
for pass completions.
the man is doing okay.
And then another request is top 3 ugliest players at quarterback.
What Andrew Luck?
I mean, he does-
Roethlisberger.
People say I look like him, so I can't go there.
They do?
I know, I don't want to talk about him. But it's with the hat, because of the hat backwards thing, maybe. I don't know.
Well, what if the quarterbacks are actually ugly? Because that's usually a pretty boy's position.
Well, I love RG3, but he's got a weird look.
He's all, grilled up and all that, but...
He doesn't have a grill. What do you mean?
He doesn't?
No. RG3 is whiter than me.
Oh, who am I thinking of?
No, not RG3.
He's got dreads.
Just dreads.
So that's it. So that's a white thing.
Is it?
Yeah.
What happened?
It's a brown person doing a white thing. I don't want to... Yeah, but and I wouldn't say Luck is...
He's goofy looking, which, a
No,
quarterback...
so Matt Ryan, of course. Because he's got a forehead for days. I mean, they coach... The quarterback meeting is off his forehead. I mean, come on.
Oh,
Let's be honest. But yeah, I mean, you're right. It's tough to
Yeah,
to pinpoint ugliness, even though we're straight men.
Yeah, that is. Cam Newton is a big bust, man.
Yeah, but he's a good-looking dude.
Because people draft. I mean, I think we. I don't.
No,
think
he's not. That was mine.
Yeah, I don't think we hit that hard.
He's my biggest. He's
Like-
my biggest fantasy bust, and he might be.
That's not what she
going
said.
forward.
But I don't
Right,
think we hit
right,
that hard enough
right.
because this guy, he's about to be showing up throwing for 180 yards a game with no 50-yard touchdowns, no 15. Like
No.
the type of stats he had last year was the type of stats you couldn't be.
It's only
counting
saving
on.
grace is they play us twice.
Yeah.
We'll fix our defense.
So, like I said, unless he's in that brothel with Warren Moon
At least I'm aware.
right now, I don't see it, man.
All right, one more. Let's see.
Adrian Peterson has 500 yards rushing so far this season. And
Biggest-
20 catches.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah.
But he's under 100 yards. He's
Yeah.
normally, and I understand it's an injury. I just 19 carries just seemed like it popped up on my radar. God forbid I do some research.
Yeah, I know.
And but biggest draft busts, just regular draft busts so far.
NFL draft.
And it's and that's another request. And it's kind of early. It's easier to go on guys who just haven't played yet.
Yeah.
I think Bob. I don't know if Michael Brocker's at LSU for St. Louis has been healthy enough to play. I'm not sure, but he's a beast if he ever when he does. Obviously the kid Cincinnati picked, the cornerback who's cleared now to play Dre Kirkpatrick.
Yeah.
He hasn't played yet, but so everyone. Whitney Merciless, has he done anything for the Texans?
I haven't
Has he
heard his name
played?
called much.
I haven't seen him in the game. I don't want to pick on them because it's obvious that I would, but I just.
Yeah, it's not really fair to call a bust, 5 games in.
I agree, and that's kind of where I am. 6 games or 5. And that's where I am. But the question is fair, Kevin. But it's early.
It's a little early.
Let's see what Dallas did just for Morris Claiborne, not a bust. So.
LSU.
So right. So yeah, it's tough. We'll definitely address that at season's end. But foreseeing any other comments y'all have, does that wrap up the 23rd installment? Yeah, I've noticed I've done the half naked chicks in showers. That's the picture on YouTube.
Oh yeah.
So
Yes,
people,
I have.
it's quadrupled the views.
I believe that.
Nice. Way to know your audience.
Right, just way to know people on YouTube.
Who cares if they have it on mute?
Right.
Just looking at the pictures.
Right, no, it's just that's the thumbnail. That's what-
Yes.
so they
Yes.
click on it and it's this isn't a naked chick. It's 3 dudes talking about sports. But maybe we say enough in the opening minutes.
That's
to-
right. Gotta
that,
grab the attention.
Right.
Naked chicks,
so-
naked chicks.
We're getting views though.
Titty.
We're getting views, so I'm gonna continue doing that.
You boob.
But so that's
What?
it. We you got some?
People are dropping Peyton Hillis right now.
You did, yeah.
Yeah. What do y'all think about that? It's almost time, but there's people with irresponsible folks at the end of their bench, and they're still dropping Peyton Hillis.
I do think you mentioned James Jones. I think somebody should definitely.
I mean, he
should
should
definitely be
now,
out.
but I
Yeah,
mean,
he's hard to miss.
because he's sitting on 6 touchdowns in 3 games, even though that's almost all he has. But those touchdowns count.
And do remember Greg Jennings is in a contract year, so he's gonna get back. He won't be in Green Bay next year, but he's gonna get paid and he's worth it. He'll be somewhere as somebody's number 1. It won't be Green Bay, but. Because he deserves. that just happened.
Fuck you, Arthur Franklin.
Fuck you, Arthur Franklin.
I'm Antonio Gates and I don't care.
I'm Antonio Gates,
At least
and I'm awesome
At least.
because I'm playing against you.
That was Gates' second touchdown.
I know.
Tonight, by
Yeah,
the way,
yeah,
just for the viewers
the
or
audience.
the listeners, or I guess they are viewers since it is YouTube.
Right.
That's so great.
But yeah, James Jones. I'd peek at Alex Green. And
Yeah, but a lot of
maybe
people
Josh
jump
Gordon
on that.
or Josh Gordon.
Maybe. I mean, I think you draft him and stash him. I don't think you start him.
Yeah, it's just.
How about that Powell guy on Arizona who's apparently getting their carries?
Number 12? Oh, carries?
He carried, yeah.
But it's the same thing as Green. It's like, if you're that desperate, take him. Pick him up and.
Yeah, I was desperate this week, and Green was already gone.
Right, that's what I mean. People are desperate.
Yeah.
No, because now bye-week teams are accelerated. They're more now. It's up to.
Oh, we have fewer games per
Right.
week, right?
Yeah. It's up to 6 bye-week teams. So it's only been 2 and then 4.
Yeah.
So it's escalating. But
yeah, it's getting there. Who leads the league in reception right now? I just need to make myself feel better because Antonio Gates just scored his second fucking
it's
touchdown.
Percy Harvin, I guess, now.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so. Yeah.
At the 11 yesterday?
Yeah.
Yeah. And Wayne didn't have that many. He was at.
He's still right there.
And
though.
Gonzalez didn't either.
He's in the neighborhood.
He's played one less game.
Right,
so
right.
Wayne is still
Right.
ridiculous.
Yeah. So
Fuck you, Arthur Prather.
Gates is doing well. I mean, I had him in every league last year, but
He's
because
having
people dropped him.
a circa
I was waiting for
2005
the.
game. Yeah.
I was waiting for the moment.
Oh, I'm against Arthur Prather. It's on now.
But we think that concludes 23. If you listen, appreciate it. Casey, Kevin,
Movie props.
I don't know who else actually listens to this.
Yeah.
But we'll play it out with, I don't even know what at this point.
Vaudeville
It's
music.
a train wreck.
Oh, audio of a train going off the tracks.
That would be. Let me see. I don't think I have that.
Is in our picks.
Right.
Oh, wow.
I think this week we might have some decent insight, but we're not betting our own money on it. So
No.
Yeah, that much is clear.
So
Well, except for the Super Bowl picks, I
And
could
big-
put my own money on that.
big announcement next week. Tune in for that. Sadly, the 4 people that listen to this already know probably, but something to get you excited about next week's show. Big announcement, and appreciate you listening. And that concludes number 23. San Diego 24, Denver
Not
0.
covering.
Only person of the 3 that picked the Chargers. I'll take it.
Don't hurt yourself patting yourself on the back.
No, because I gave my reasoning.
North Turner can't believe it.
I
either.
gave my
And North
reasoning
Turner's
why.
like, shit, what do I do?
They must have
By
North Turner not
24
hooked up
points.
to none of the mics or something. Like, they're not letting him talk. He thinks he's talking to people and he's not.
Chris Berman does too. But what is that, Chili's?
Applebee's.
Whatever.
That's horrible.
No, they're very different restaurants.
Are they very different?
Well, they're pitching to similar clientele, but
Always trying to correct.
I am.
I know. Me too.
What happened?
Applebee's sucks, though.
I haven't been in a while. I do like that they had like a vegetarian pizza. Like a mushroom.
When was the last time you were there?
Oh, it's 13 years ago.
Is it still on the menu?
They brought it back.
They'll make it for you if you ask for
They
it.
brought it back at some point.
Where did it
But
go? Did they like run out of
I was a
mushrooms
big
for a
Chili's
decade?
fan for a while. Their salsa is a little runny, but it's I don't hate it.
Yeah.
You could do worse.
They have the quesadilla salad or whatever.
I like their
It's
burgers.
basically horrible
I'll
salad.
put guacamole in the burger if you want, or avocado.
Yeah.
It's,
Their ribs are decent.
Yeah.
Their fajitas aren't bad. No, they're not. Chili's is fine.
Chips are too salty, or the fries are too salty.
Are they?
But other than that,
Yeah.